President Obama says his reaching out to Iran to help in the fight against ISIS has nothing to do with Iran's nuclear program. Should the United States try to work with Iran to fight ISIS?
Iran is not your ally. Iran is not your friend. Iran is your enemy. It's not your partner. Iran is committed to the destruction of Israel, just as the P5+1, the United States and the world powers are negotiating with Iran a nuclear agreement. The Ayatollah Khamenei, the ruler of Iran, calls for the annihilation of Israel. He just did that 4 days ago. He specified 9 ways and reasons by which Israel should be destroyed. He's participated in rallies and chants of death to America, death to Israel. This is not a friend, neither in the battle against ISIS nor in the the great effort that should be made to deprive him the capacity to make nuclear weapons. Don't fall for Iran's ruse. They are not your friend.
There's about a week left to the deadline for the U.S.-Iran nuclear talks. Do you think the United States should agree to any concessions in order to make a deal with Iran?
I want to be clear what has to be achieved. It's not merely preventing Iran from having nuclear weapons today. It's to prevent them, Bob, from having nuclear weapons tomorrow. That means that Iran should not be left with the residual capacity to enrich uranium that you need for an atomic bomb, nor to have the long-range ballistic missiles, the ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, to launch them. Why is Khamenei developed? Why have they developed ballistic missiles? They don't need them to reach Israel. They need them to reach the United States. Now they're asking for the capacity to make, in very short order, the nuclear bombs to put on those missiles that can reach the United States. They should be deprived from having that capacity to make those weapons. And I think that's what's on the table. I think it's important to continue the sanctions. The alternative to a bad deal is not war. The alternative to a bad deal are more sanctions, tougher sanctions that will make Iran dismantle its capacity to make nuclear bombs.
Prime Minister, I would like to hear your characterization of how you think relations are now between the United States and Israel. As you well know, an administration official told The Atlantic that you were a chicken expletive. Have those comments affected your relationship with President Obama?
Look, I'm not going to deal with anonymous sources that issue all sorts of critical statements. I think that's not appropriate. I will say this. I think the relationship between Israel and the United States is very, very strong. I mean, there's bipartisan support for Israel, which we appreciate. And not only that, I think support for Israel among the American people is at an all-time high. Because I think Americans, when they look around the Middle East and they see ISIS beheading Americans, they see the chants death to America in Tehran, they see the fluidity, that's an understatement, the fact that one state after another is collapsing, and they see this democratic state of Israel, admittedly a beleaguered democracy, but one that stands for American values of democracy and personal liberty and free speech and an organized society and a high-tech society. People instinctively understand that Israel is America's best ally in the United States, in the Middle East, the best ally of the United States. And you know, in Israel, we think America is our best ally too. So there's a very, very strong bond there. And yes, we can have disagreements between governments. That happens in the best of families, but we are one family.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Bob.